How's it going, guys? I have had a few requests asking if I make patterns and sell them. At this time I do not. If there is a big enough calling for it, I guess maybe you guys, I might in the future, who knows? Comment down below if there's a pattern that you would like to maybe purchase that I make up. Anyway, so today we're going to be making a neck holster for this pug right here. So let's get started. This chicken out of the way. Now there's tons of different ways of doing this. This is how I particularly do it. So trace the gun and to make sure you don't tilt the pin too far one way or the other. Now this thing had an unfortunate incident, so we're going to have to pretend like there's a hammer still there. There we go. And we have this bad boy traced out. So what you're gonna do for these particular little mini revolvers, this works fine. What I do is you measure half the width of the thickest part there, so that's going to be cylinder edge to cylinder edge, and it just happens to be 7/16 of an inch. If you have like a full size, like a Glock or something like that, full size pistol, full frame pistol, you're going to need to add the length, the width of the leather as well into that. So half the length of the slide plus half the length plus the length of the leather. Otherwise it's going to be ridiculously too tight for you. So now you just go around here and you mark lines, even if it's not where the holster is going to go. Just get your lines marked. You can adjust later when you start being creative and drawing. So that's what I'm doing here. This one's going to be sewed. It's actually going to be 2 pieces, and it's going to be sewn on the bottom. So you'll need to make sure you measure that exact same length on the bottom too. And up this side. Now with this one, I'm just going to go, usually on here, I'll just make it an even stitch line, a straight one, all the way up. That way you have room for your sight channel. Now if this was a fold over holster, this would not get a stitch, obviously. You would cut this out, fold it over. We'll do one of those on another day. Let's keep focused here. So there's our stitch lines. Now we have to draw the pattern that's going to go around with the extra leather. Now I like to do a double line going. Sometimes I don't. Something like this with these little thin guys, it should be alright. Especially since it's going to be stitched all the way around. So just leave you a little extra room. This is about 3/16 of an inch. And just follow. If you want it to be super nice and even, you can measure it out. It's like 1/4 of an inch. See? That's why I do it in pencil. Because you're going to change your mind. There we go. Like so. Let's follow this up here. Now we're going to figure out how we want this to go. So I like the hammer being covered. So we'll just continue this, the hammer and the trigger, as much as possible. And these are single action, so it's not as detrimental. Worry about that curve at the end. Then I'll swoop up here, and then I'll keep our hammer covered. Alright, so there's your base panel for the front. Now, me particular, I like to leave it a little loose where the hammer goes. So my stitch line is actually going to start here. I won't actually have a stitch up here. Now we could do this two ways here. This is the way I like to do it. You could just go ahead and draw a whole nother section, but this is how I do it. So we're going to make the back piece, so it's going to look like a one-dimensional picture of what the holster is going to look like. Let me explain. So this is going to be your sweat guard mounting point. You don't want it too huge and bulky and ridiculous. So and these things always look a lot bigger than they are when they're actually cut out and molded. So that looks pretty good. So I could put, I might want to make it come up just a little bit more. Like this. Make that a little nicer. And then I'll have some eyelet holes, probably like here and here. And that's where your rope's going to attach to, the paracord that's going to go around your neck. So what we do here is I'm going to cut this whole thing out. I'll be right back. So we have that cut out now, like so. Now what we're going to do is we are going to trace this outline. Because this is a two-piece holster. Trace this outline, and then you cut this piece out. Do that real quick. I don't need any stitch lines or anything on this other than just to mark it so you know what it is for later. So this is going to be an NAA, North American Arms, Pug neck holster. And now you take this one that you drew first, it has all your stitch lines and everything on it, and you have this lovely line marked here where you drew first. Just cut that bad boy out, like so. Get rid of that. Now you have both pieces that you need to cut out, and they are the same because you just, trace it on there, and you have your stitch lines ready. Then you just go cut this out of leather and start making your holster. That's pretty much all there is to making a pattern. Once you realize the widths and parameters and things like that you need to accommodate for the thickness of your leather, everything else is pretty easy at that point. So go give it a try. Go check out my website at mstoutdoors.com. I'm going to put links to that in the description below, as well as my Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. Hope you guys like this video. Leave a comment down below if you want to see something else made a pattern for. Thanks for watching.